What's up, guys? Kyle here with another video for the YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best way to handle cold email leads. So I've generated over 10,000 cold email leads, almost 11,000 so far. And this is the exact process that I use and I have all my clients follow and use. So let's hop right in. Alrighty, guys. So here we go. So the first step is send cold emails, obviously, right? Now, the next step happens automatically. So whenever we get a reply, it's going to get sent to Clay, and then Clay is going to look at the intent of the reply, right? And it's going to score that reply, and if it's positive, it will push it to Slack. So if I get a positive reply, Clay's going to analyze it, and then I'll get a Slack message letting me know I got a new lead, also with the intent of the score. Next, it will simultaneously add that lead to my CRM. And if you have multiple like SDRs who are setting up appointments or account executives, you could route that lead based off of the score that Clay gave it, right? So if you want to give the best leads to the best closers, if you get a 5 out of 5 lead, it could automatically route to your best closer. Okay, now for the positive reply, how do I handle it once I get into the inbox and I'm gonna respond back? I use mainly the Loom strategy. So that's like my main call to action is, hey, let me know, for example, if I'm selling something that's like a database reactivation program, right? And we're able to get 5 to 12% of all inactive leads back into leads who book calls. The cold email would be like, hey, John, I have this process specifically made for med spas. We're able to get 5 to 12% of all inactive leads to actually book a meeting. Would you like me to send over a video kind of showing that process of how we do that? Something like that, right? And then the reply back usually is, hey, yeah, can you send over that video? And then I reply back and send them the video. If that makes sense, hopefully it makes sense. Now, the next step, this happens simultaneously. So this is automated, right, with HeyReach. So the whole team will send LinkedIn friend request to the new lead. So this is going to do two things. It's going to nurture the lead with content. So if they don't convert right now, they're going to keep getting hit with content until they eventually do convert, right? So that content's going to build trust. It's going to show expertise. We're going to have case studies in the content. And it's also going to show social proof because we will have, these big following counts if we are posting. If we're not posting, obviously we might not have any social proof. But if you have a lot of followers, that's like a social proof badge, right? Now, next, if you're using ads, we will automatically have the positive reply added to a custom audience. That custom audience will start getting hit with ads, right? So that could be LinkedIn, that could be YouTube. And these ads could be a book a call webinar funnel. So book a call webinar combo funnel. So a lot of people will do like a book a call ad and a webinar ad and do them at the same time. Or they'll do like a front end low ticket offer, or many different types of ads, right? Case studies, thought leadership ads. So this is like the ads would get turned on, and they would get hit up on LinkedIn, YouTube, Meta, wherever you guys want to hit them up at, right? So not only are they getting hit with a whole team worth of content now, since they're getting friend requests on LinkedIn, they're also going to be getting hit with ads. Now, if we send this Loom video and they do not reply, we have a 9-step follow-up process to actually get them on a call. So I will put a link up below. You should see it about right now. In this video that I linked up there, I go over my exact steps for the follow-up process. So if you guys are curious what that is, I already made a whole video on just the follow-up stuff, right here. So yeah, just go check that out. So the whole goal is to get them from, hey, I want the video, to, hey, I want to hop on a call. So I will follow up 9 times just to get them to say, hey, I want to hop on a call. Once they've actually showed that they now want to hop on a call, I will follow up 9 more times if I need to actually get them to schedule a call. Now, usually I'm not doing 18 follow-ups. I'm just saying that is the extent that I will go to before I stop. Usually it takes me like 1 or 2 or 3 follow-ups to actually get them to say, hey, I want to hop on a call. And usually I don't even have to do any of these follow-ups. But if I need to, I will. And usually it will convert them. Next, I self-book my calls. So I see a lot of people when someone says, hey, I'm interested, they just send them over a Calendly link. That is horrible. 50% at least 50. You're losing out on at least 50% of meetings. I would say, because I've tried this before and it's not good compared to this strategy that I use. So once they give you a time, you take their email and their name and you self-book the call. And then you email them after and saying, hey, just want to confirm you got the link, right? So once they show interest, like, hey, I want to hop on a call, I'll email them back and be like, hey, John, I'm free Tuesday at 3 o'clock and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Let me, if those times don't work, feel free to suggest a few that do. And usually 9 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times, they'll pick one of the times that you suggested. And then you self-book it right after that, right? We're not trying to have, because when you send a link, in their head, they're thinking, I'll get back to them later, right? Oh, I don't want to do it. I'll just do this later, But you could just do it now once you get them to agree to a time, right? It takes a whole step out of the process. Next, send them 3 Calendly reminders, and I push them all towards a video sales letter. So in those reminders, hey, calls out 24 hours to our call. Make sure you watch this video before a call. It'll kind of show like our process and help inform you in your buying decision and make your call run more smoothly. And also have testimonials inside your reminders. I like to put those inside the video. So the reason I do this is if your process is good and it's sophisticated and you get them to watch that whole video before your call, they're going to be extremely warm and they're going to be sold in the process, especially if you speak with conviction. Now, if your process is like a Miro board with 2 steps, it's not really going to sell them. And it probably won't work. So I wouldn't do anything like that maybe then. But for me, I have this whole process that I go through in my VSL. This is like, after they watch the whole process, they're pretty sold. So yeah, 24-hour reminder, 1-hour reminder, 15-minute reminder. And then after the call books, like after you book the call, you have a trigger that automatically adds them to your newsletter. So now they're going to hit with your ads, right? They're going to hit with follow-up messages. They're going to hit with a newsletter, and they're going to hit with content. So they're getting hit up 4 different ways, right? Now, if the call is, I need to fix this. If the call is more than 2 days out, I attempt to pull it in. So I will call them up and be like, hey, I'll basically try to pull in that call to today, if worst case tomorrow. The further out a call is, this is what Alex Ramosi was talking about in the playbooks I bought, is if it's more than 3 days out, like you have a 50% chance, you're 50% more likely to no-show. If you have a call that's scheduled for today, like if they book a call, if it's today and they book a call for today, they're like almost 100% likely going to show up. So if you could pull in that call for today, you're going to it really decrease the amount of no-shows that you have, which then increases the amount of sales you get, right? So conduct your discovery call and then book a meeting from a meeting if needed. So if you don't close them on that call, make sure you book a meeting from that meeting, okay? Don't just get off the call and with no, next call scheduled, right? Okay, and then I send over the contract, and then in the contract, I had the video sales letter once again in it. So if there is any other decision makers that are involved in this process, when they look at the contract, they will see the VSL, they'll watch the VSL, see the process, and if you do the VSL right, it should also sell them too. And then if they don't sign the contract right away, I have a 9-step follow-up process that I like to follow to get them to close it, to get them to sign the deal. Okay, now after 9 follow-ups, if they don't sign, I add them to a reactivation campaign. They hit them up again in 3 months. And over those 3 months, they're getting hit with ads, they're seeing content, and they're part of the newsletter, and they're going to be more likely to convert in that 3 months. If they're 1, we'll send off the kickoff email automatically. log all the notes in the CRM and reporting and all that stuff. We do that with automations. And then we'll review the deal, this whole deal that we just closed, with the sales, account executives, and SDRs. So they could, see how we close that deal, and we can get more deals closed in a similar fashion, right? But yeah, that is the entire sales process. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you guys liked the video. This one's kind of a short video, but yeah, guys, make sure you check out the other follow-up video where I talk about what I actually say in the follow-up messages. A lot of good stuff in there, but that's it for now. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.